Love, a subject that each of us has experienced at least once, but have you ever truly understood it? Why do some relationships stand the test of time while others fall apart so easily? Have you ever experienced the feeling that the man you love suddenly becomes cold, distant, and even ignores you without any clear reason? You worry, wondering if you've done something wrong, and you try every possible way to win him back. However, the more you try to cling, the further he drifts away. So what is the smartest way to handle this situation? Don't panic or despair. Instead, learn to act wisely so you can maintain your self-worth and possibly make him appreciate you even more. Welcome to the channel Sophia's Knowledge, and my name is Sophia. This is the place where you will find valuable lessons and secrets to building truly lasting love. In today's video, I will share with you 7 ways to act when a man distances himself and ignores you. Watch and apply them immediately. Don't miss out on advice that could change the way you see and live love. Surely, you will feel more at ease when you find a quiet place and put on your headphones. Let yourself relax and be ready to absorb the positive messages in today's video. Are you ready to embark on this journey with me, Sophia? Let's begin together. 1. Don't panic or try to cling. When a man suddenly distances himself and ignores you, the first reaction for many women is to panic, worry, and try to hold on by any means. This is a natural reaction because people generally dislike sudden changes, especially in love. However, what's important is that you need to control your emotions and avoid making mistakes that could worsen the situation. Why do you panic when he distances himself? The feeling of panic arises when you feel out of control. You don't understand why he has suddenly become cold, and that makes you feel insecure. Thoughts like, what did I do wrong? Does he not love me anymore? Or what should I do to get him back, may keep repeating in your mind, leading to hasty and thoughtless actions. However, a panicked reaction often doesn't solve the problem, it only makes the situation worse. When you worry too much, you tend to act on emotions rather than reason, leading to wrong decisions. Consequences of clinging. One of the most common mistakes when being ignored by the other person is trying too hard to cling on. You might continuously text, call, check in, or even try to meet him to demand an explanation. These actions might come from a desire to clarify the issue, but in reality, they make you less attractive in his eyes. The reason is that men often tend to withdraw when they feel pressured or when their personal space is compromised. If he has already distanced himself from you, it means he needs time to think or face his feelings. When you don't respect that space and continue to apply pressure, he may want to pull away even more. Moreover, when you cling, you lose your confidence and self-worth. You put yourself in a vulnerable position, while what you really need to do is to maintain your value and let him recognize your importance. Control your emotions to avoid panicking. The first thing to do when you realize he is distancing himself is to stay calm. You don't need to react immediately. Take some time to think rather than instantly texting him to ask what's going on. When you control your emotions, you will be more capable of making wise decisions. Here are some ways to help you control your emotions when he distances himself. Spend time for yourself. Instead of focusing too much on him, dedicate time to your own hobbies, meet friends, exercise, or read. This helps keep your mind occupied and prevents you from being obsessed with negative thoughts. Write down your feelings. If you feel overwhelmed by the thoughts in your head, write them down. Writing helps you release emotions and view the situation more objectively. Remind yourself of your worth. Don't let one man's actions determine your value. You deserve to be loved and respected. If someone doesn't see that, it's their problem, not yours. Let him feel your absence. A big mistake many women make when a man ignores them is trying to pull him back by doing everything possible to attract his attention. In reality, the best way for him to realize your worth is to disappear for a while. When you are not present in his life, he will have the opportunity to think about you and the relationship. If he still cares, he will come looking for you. But if he doesn't, that means he doesn't truly appreciate you, and you shouldn't waste your time on someone like that. Focus on your self-worth. When you stop panicking and clinging, you will have the opportunity to focus more on yourself. This is a good time to improve yourself, become stronger, and build the life you desire. A confident, independent woman who knows how to love herself is always more attractive than anyone else. Ask yourself, am I living the life I want? What goals do I need to achieve? What can I do to become a better version of myself? When you focus on these things, you won't be overly concerned about whether a man is distancing himself from you or not. Accept and be ready to move on. Remember that you cannot control someone else's actions, but you can control how you react. If a man decides to distance himself from you, it doesn't mean you're worthless or not good enough. Sometimes, it simply means that he isn't right for you or he has his own issues to deal with. Be ready to accept any outcome, whether he comes back or not. If he truly cares, he will find his way back to you. But if not, you will know that you did everything correctly without losing yourself. In conclusion, when a man distances himself and ignores you, the best reaction is not to panic or cling but to remain calm, focus on yourself, and let him recognize your value on his own. Remember that a man who truly loves you will not make you feel abandoned or force you to chase him. Love yourself enough to know when to keep going and when to walk away. What do you think about this? Please share your thoughts in the comments below. I'm really looking forward to hearing your opinions and discussing further. Don't forget to like if you find this content useful and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss the next share. Thank you so much. Let's continue together. 2. Identify the reason he's distancing himself from you. When a man becomes distant and starts ignoring you, the most important thing is to clearly understand why this is happening. If you don't know the reason, you might react incorrectly, making the situation worse. Instead of rushing into action, take some time to analyze the situation and find a reasonable explanation. It's not always that he's distancing himself because he's no longer in love. Many women, upon noticing that a man has become cold, immediately think that he no longer loves them or is involved with someone else. However, in reality, there are many other reasons why a man might need space, and it doesn't always mean he wants to leave you. He might be facing work-related stress, financial pressure, family issues, or personal crises that he isn't ready to share. Men often tend to solve problems on their own rather than confiding in someone else, even a lover. Therefore, his distancing may not necessarily be about you, but about him. Common reasons why he might be distancing himself. Here are some common reasons that might explain his distant behavior. He needs his own space. Sometimes, men feel pressured when a relationship becomes too serious or when they need time to reflect on their own feelings. He is dealing with personal stress, work, finances, family, or personal issues might make him reluctant to talk or spend as much time with you as before. Something in the relationship is bothering him. Perhaps you unintentionally said or did something that made him uncomfortable. If you both were happy before, but he has changed recently, consider what might have happened recently. He is gradually losing interest. If the relationship has been going on for a while, he might be feeling a lack of novelty. This doesn't necessarily mean he has fallen out of love, but that he is trying to rebalance his feelings. He is confused about his own feelings. Some men, when uncertain about their feelings, choose to withdraw to think rather than being straightforward with their partner. The presence of a third party, although this isn't the only reason, in some cases a man might become distant if he is interested in someone else. How to identify the reason? Determining why he is distancing himself may not be easy, but here are some ways to help you find the answer. Observe his behavior. Is he busier than usual? If he still goes to work late, texts less, but shows no other negative signs, he might simply be genuinely busy. Has there been a sudden change in his behavior? If someone who loves you suddenly becomes indifferent without any clear reason, he might be dealing with internal issues. Does he still care about you? If he still responds to you, albeit in a colder tone, it might just be a temporary phase due to personal stress. Review your recent interactions. Have you had any recent arguments or disagreements? If so, he might need time to cool down or reflect. Did you inadvertently do something to upset him? Sometimes even a small word or action can affect his feelings. Talk to him gently without pressure. If you're really worried and don't want to jump to conclusions, try asking him directly but gently. For example, lately, I've noticed you seem a bit busier than usual. Is something stressing you out? Avoid asking in a demanding or accusatory way like, "Why are you ignoring me?" or "Do you still love me?" because that might make him feel pressured and more inclined to withdraw. When to wait and when to walk away. After identifying the reason, you can then consider whether he is worth waiting for or not. If he is truly dealing with issues and needs time, give him the space without excessive worry. However, if he continuously ignores you without a justified reason, you need to reassess whether this relationship is worth continuing. Here are some signs that you should consider moving on. He gives no explanation at all and completely ignores you for a long period. He only shows interest when he needs something, but distances himself when you need his attention. You feel like you're the only one trying to maintain the relationship. Conversely, if he still shows signs of caring, but is just going through a difficult phase, be patient and see if things change. In conclusion, identifying the reason why a man distances himself from you is crucial for understanding the situation and making the right decision. Don't jump to conclusions or panic, observe, assess, and have a gentle conversation if needed. If he genuinely has a valid reason, give him time. But if you realize that he simply no longer wants to be with you, be strong enough to walk away and dedicate your time to something more worthy. 3. Give him space. When a man becomes distant and ignores you, the natural reaction for many women is to try to pull him back closer. However, this often has the opposite effect. In many cases, the best way to handle this situation is to give him space instead of trying to cling to him or force him to explain. Giving him space does not mean that you become indifferent or cold, but that you respect the time he needs to think and adjust his own feelings. If you do it correctly, he might come back with even greater appreciation for you. Why do men need space? Women and men often process emotions differently. When women are sad or anxious, they tend to share their feelings with others to seek comfort. In contrast, men tend to retreat into their own world to solve their problems on their own. This does not mean that he does not care about you, it simply means that he needs space to think or regain balance. Some reasons why a man might need space: he is feeling pressure from work or personal life and needs time to deal with it before he can continue to maintain closeness in the relationship. He is questioning his feelings and needs a period of time to determine what he really wants. He feels that the relationship is becoming too suffocating and needs a bit of distance to regain his personal freedom. He is facing an inner issue that he does not want to share immediately. Whatever the reason, if he needs space, allowing him that time can ultimately improve the relationship. Mistakes that may push him further away. Some women, when they see their man become cold, react by trying to pull him back closer. However, the following actions can make the situation worse: texting or calling constantly. When you continuously ask or demand that he explain, it can make him feel pressured and want to withdraw even more. Appearing sulky or blaming. Many women react by sulking, blaming, or demanding that he show more attention. This can make him feel exhausted instead of wanting to come back. Trying to attract attention by provoking. Some choose to make him jealous or try to attract attention through negative actions. This not only does not help, but may push him further away. Thinking that he will leave you and panicking on your own. Excessive worry and overthinking can cause you to act uncontrollably, hurting both yourself and the relationship. How to give space the right way. Step 1. Stay calm and control your emotions. If he starts to distance himself, remain calm instead of reacting immediately. Feeling anxious or down is normal, but the important thing is that you need to control these feelings. Remind yourself that if he truly loves you, he will not disappear forever. Step 2. Don't text or call too much. Allow him time and space to think on his own. Do not text or call continuously to ask or demand his attention. This does not mean you cut off contact completely, but simply maintain a reasonable distance. For example, instead of texting every day, wait to see if he will reach out to you. If after some time, he still shows no initiative, you can send a gentle message to check in on him. Step 3. Focus on yourself. Instead of spending time thinking about why he is distant, take care of yourself and enjoy your own life. You can engage in activities you love. Spend time with friends and family. Learn a new skill or pursue a personal hobby. Take care of yourself both mentally and physically. When you are happy and confident, it will enhance your value in his eyes rather than making him feel confined. Step 4. Maintain a positive and independent attitude. Giving space does not mean you have to become cold or ignore him. If he contacts you again, maintain a gentle, relaxed attitude instead of blaming or demanding that he explain. Remember, don't hastily ask him why he became distant. Don't appear overly happy or overly sorrowful when he comes back. Keep your spirit confident and strong. Step 5. Accept any outcome. If he truly needs time to think, respect that decision. However, if he continues to ignore you for a long time without any sign of care, perhaps it is time to reconsider the relationship. If a man truly loves you, he will not leave you waiting forever. If he does not come back, it means that you deserve someone better, someone who appreciates you more. Ultimately, giving space to a man when he distances himself from you is not an act of letting go, but a way to respect both of your feelings. By remaining calm, independent, and confident, you not only give him the time to think, but also demonstrate that you are a woman of value, not dependent on someone else's emotions. Remember, a truly lasting relationship is one where both people have the space to grow as individuals while still feeling secure in love. If he is worthy, he will come back. If not, you still have a complete life without having to cling to anyone. If you're still watching at this moment, do not hesitate to comment, continue. Leave your thoughts and questions below. I look forward to hearing your opinions, and don't forget to like and subscribe so that Sophia has more motivation to create more great and meaningful videos. Let's continue together. 4. Focus on yourself and improve yourself. When a man distances himself and ignores you, the feelings of hurt and disappointment are inevitable. However, instead of drowning in sorrow or trying every possible way to cling to him, the best thing you can do is to focus on yourself and improve yourself. This not only helps you feel better mentally, but also enhances your value in the eyes of others. Moreover, if he truly cares, you becoming strong and independent may make him realize that he could lose an amazing woman. Why do you need to focus on yourself? In a relationship, especially when the feelings are deep, many women tend to devote all their time and mind to the other person, to the point of forgetting about themselves. When ignored, they feel empty and lost because they have become too dependent on the relationship. Focusing on yourself does not mean you are selfish or indifferent to love. It means you recognize your own worth and do not let your emotions be controlled by someone else's actions. When you know how to take care of yourself, you will become more confident in every situation. Not be dependent on anyone else's emotions. Attract men who appreciate you more. Become the best version of yourself. Things you can do to improve yourself. Take care of your appearance. Appearance isn't everything, but a woman who takes care of herself will always radiate positive energy. When you feel more beautiful, you will also feel more confident. Invest in yourself, try changing your hairstyle, taking care of your skin, or exercising to have a toned figure. Eat healthily, A balanced diet helps keep your body healthy and your mind refreshed. Choose appropriate clothing. When you dress neatly and in a style that suits you, you will feel more in love with yourself. Develop your mind and knowledge. An intelligent and knowledgeable woman always has a strong appeal. If you want to become a better version of yourself, take time to learn and develop your thinking. Read books on self-development, psychology, and topics you love. Learn a new skill. It could be a foreign language, communication skills, or a new hobby like drawing or cooking. Understand male psychology. When you understand how they think, you will no longer be caught up in negative emotions when they distance themselves. Build an independent lifestyle. An independent woman always has a special charm. When you have an interesting personal life, you will not be dependent on a man's emotions. Pursue your own passions. Try new activities like traveling, writing, business, or art. Build healthy relationships, spend time with family, friends, and those who truly love you. Take time to relax. Meditation, yoga, or simply taking a walk outdoors can also help soothe your mind. Change your perspective on love. When you focus on yourself, you will realize that love is not everything. A good relationship should be based on mutual respect and understanding, not on control or dependence. Don't think you need a man to be happy. True happiness comes from within you, not from someone else. Don't make someone else the center of your life. If someone wants to leave, let them go. Don't lose yourself just to hold on to someone who no longer wants to stay. Recognize your own worth. A man who truly loves you will not make you feel abandoned or force you to chase him. What will happen when you focus on yourself? When you take the time to upgrade yourself, you will realize that you no longer worry excessively about whether a man is ignoring you or not. You become more attractive in the eyes of others, including him. You develop a stronger mentality, no longer easily affected by small changes in the relationship. You are ready to move on if that person is no longer right for you. Interestingly, when you stop chasing and instead focus on yourself, that man might automatically come back. Men are attracted to confident, independent women with interesting lives. When you are no longer obsessed with his distance, he may realize your value and want to get closer again. When is it time to walk away? Focusing on yourself does not mean you are waiting for someone to come back. If a man continuously ignores you, making no effort to maintain the relationship, then boldly walk away. Here are some signs that you should stop. He no longer cares even though you have given him enough space and time. He no longer makes an effort to maintain the relationship. You feel that you are the only one trying without receiving anything in return. If that's the case, remind yourself that you deserve a better relationship, a relationship where the other person truly appreciates and loves you. Ultimately, focusing on yourself and improving yourself is the best way to overcome the difficult phase when a man distances himself from you. Turn this time into an opportunity to become the best version of yourself. When you know how to love yourself, you will no longer worry about whether someone loves you or not. A man who truly fits you will come to you without you having to chase him. 5. Maintain confidence and independence. When a man distances himself from you or ignores you, the common reaction for many women is to feel confused, lose confidence, and try to cling to the other person. However, the most important thing in this situation is not to try to pull him back, but to maintain your own confidence and independence. Confidence and independence not only help you avoid getting hurt but also make you more attractive. If he truly cares about you, he will recognize your worth and may come back. On the other hand, if he continues to be indifferent, you won't be dependent on him to seek happiness. Why are confidence and independence important? Confidence and independence not only help you maintain your self-respect, but also attract men who appreciate you. When you rely on a relationship to feel happy, you can easily become someone who is always chasing after the other person. This not only causes you to lose your value in his eyes, but also makes you feel insecure, anxious, and fearful when the relationship shows signs of strain. Conversely, a confident and independent woman always has a strong appeal because she doesn't need a man to feel complete. She knows that she deserves the best and does not accept half-hearted treatment. Characteristics of a confident and independent woman. A confident and independent woman will have the following traits. She doesn't panic when a man distances himself. Instead of worrying or panicking, she remains calm and continues living her own life. She doesn't beg for affection. If a man does not appreciate her, she is ready to walk away without clinging. She has her own goals, she has passions, a career, and personal hobbies instead of devoting all her time just to thinking about a relationship. She knows her own worth, she doesn't let others decide her value and doesn't allow her emotions to be controlled by a man's actions. How to maintain confidence when he distances himself. Step 1. Realize that you deserve respect. One of the reasons many women lose confidence when a man ignores them is because they blame themselves. They think they have done something wrong or that they are not good enough. However, the truth is, you do not need to change yourself to please someone else. Remind yourself that you deserve a man who appreciates you. If someone does not see your value, that is their problem, not yours. A man who truly loves you will not make you feel abandoned. Step 2. Don't let emotions control your actions. When you feel anxious or hurt, take a moment to think before acting. Do not text continuously, do not blame or try to get attention. Instead, focus on yourself. You can write in a journal, exercise, read, or do anything that helps keep your mind calm. When you control your emotions, you won't fall into hasty actions that you might later regret. Step 3. Continue living your life positively. A man should not be the center of your life. If he distances himself, take advantage of this time to develop yourself. You can learn a new skill or join an interesting class. Spend time with family and friends. Exercise to improve your health and appearance. Plan personal goals for your career and life. When you are busy with positive activities, you won't be overly concerned with what he is doing. How to maintain independence in a relationship. A healthy relationship is not one where one person is chasing after the other, but one where both build the relationship based on mutual respect and understanding. Here are some ways to maintain your independence in a relationship. Don't abandon your personal hobbies. Continue doing the things you love, even when you are in love. Don't be overly dependent on your partner for happiness. Your happiness should come from within, not from a man. Don't lose yourself for the sake of a relationship. Hold on to your principles and values, even when you are deeply in love. Don't be afraid to speak your mind. An independent woman is not afraid to express her opinions and does not accept poor treatment. What will happen when you maintain confidence and independence? When you maintain a confident and independent attitude, you will notice changes not only in the relationship but also within yourself. You will feel stronger and no longer fear that a man might leave you. You become a more attractive woman because you do not depend on others for your happiness. If he truly cares, he will be attracted by your confidence and might take the initiative to come back. If he does not come back, you won't feel regret because you know you did the right thing. Maintaining confidence and independence when a man distances himself is not a strategy to make him come back, but a way to protect your self-respect and value. A healthy relationship should not make you feel like you have to chase after someone. Remember, a confident and independent woman never needs to beg for love. If someone does not appreciate you, be bold enough to walk away and spend time on things that truly matter. 6. Communicate clearly if necessary. When a man distances himself from you and ignores you, there are times when you need to give him space, but there are also times when clear communication is the best way to resolve the issue. Many women fall into the trap of guessing and overthinking the reasons behind his distancing, yet they do not dare to directly face the situation and ask questions. This can lead to unnecessary tension and make you feel insecure. Communicating does not mean you have to make a big fuss or pressure him. It means knowing how to ask questions at the right time and in the right way to understand the situation clearly. If he truly cares about you but is facing difficulties, talking might help both of you resolve the misunderstandings. On the other hand, if he no longer wants to maintain the relationship, clear communication will help you realize the truth and chart an appropriate path for yourself. When should you communicate directly? Communication is not always the best option. In some cases, a man just needs time to think and will come back when he is ready. However, if the distancing continues for too long or if you feel that something is not right, then a frank discussion is necessary. Here are some signs that you need to talk clearly with him. He has been distant for too long without a reasonable explanation. You feel insecure and anxious because you do not know what he is thinking. He is no longer proactive in the relationship but doesn't provide a clear reason. You are in a serious relationship, but he has started to become cold without any clear reason. How to communicate effectively? If you decide to talk to him, the most important thing is how you approach the issue. A well-conducted conversation will help both of you understand each other better, while a poorly conducted one may make him feel pressured and want to withdraw even more. Step 1. Stay calm and control your emotions. Before talking, make sure you are in a calm state. If you feel angry, hurt, or overly anxious, take some time to stabilize your emotions before approaching him. Avoid texting or calling when you are angry. Ask yourself, what do I want to achieve from this conversation? Remember, your goal is to understand the situation, not to blame or argue. Step 2. Choose the right time. Choosing the right time to talk is very important. If he is busy, stressed, or not in the right mood, the conversation might not yield good results. If possible, try to meet face-to-face rather than texting. If you must text, send a simple message such as, "I've noticed that you seem busier and less communicative lately. I don't want to bother you, but if something is bothering you, I'd like to understand better." Step 3. Ask open-ended questions instead of blaming. The way you ask questions will determine his response. If you start with blaming questions like, "Why are you ignoring me?" or "Don't you love me anymore?" he might become defensive and unwilling to continue the conversation. Instead, use open-ended questions that show concern without creating pressure. "I've noticed you seem stressed lately. Is there anything you'd like to share? I've observed that you're contacting me less than before. Is there something making you uncomfortable in our relationship? Do you need some personal time? If so, I completely understand." These questions help him feel more comfortable sharing rather than feeling forced to answer. Step 4. Listen and accept the truth. When he answers, really listen instead of trying to argue or defend yourself. If he says he is busy or has personal issues, respect his space. If he mentions that he needs time to think about the relationship, be prepared for any outcome. Most importantly, if he frankly says that he no longer feels the same way as before, be strong enough to accept the truth instead of trying to cling. Step 5. Don't beg or plead. If he says he needs time or no longer wants to continue the relationship, maintain your self-respect. Don't beg for him to come back or try to convince him to change his mind. A man who truly wants to be with you will find a way to maintain the relationship without you having to chase him. When should you accept and move on? If, after the conversation, he continues to be cold or does not provide a clear explanation, it may be a sign that you should stop. A healthy relationship requires two-way communication, not a situation where you have to chase someone who no longer values you. Here are some signs that you should move on. He does not give a clear response and continues to ignore you. He says that he no longer wants to maintain the relationship. You feel that you are the only one making an effort without receiving anything in return. If so, be strong enough to walk away and spend your time with people who truly appreciate you. Ultimately, clear communication is the best way to understand the issue when a man distances himself from you. However, it is important to know how to communicate tactfully and at the right time. Stay calm, ask open-ended questions, listen to the answers, and respect both of your feelings. If he truly cares about you, he will be willing to talk and find a way to resolve the problem. If not, you will have the clarity needed to move on without regrets. 7. Prepare yourself emotionally for all outcomes. When a man distances himself and ignores you, even if you have tried to understand the reasons, given him space, focused on yourself, and communicated clearly, there is still a possibility that things will not go back to the way they were before. This is when you need to prepare yourself mentally to face every situation, whether it is his return or the end of the relationship. Not every relationship can be maintained just because you wish for it to be. Sometimes, even if you have done everything right, he still chooses to leave or no longer feels the same. If you are not mentally prepared, you may fall into a state of pain, despair, or lose yourself. Therefore, being ready to face all outcomes not only helps you avoid excessive hurt but also helps you maintain your self-worth. Understand that you cannot control everything. One of the biggest mistakes women make in love is thinking they can control a man's emotions. The truth is, you cannot force someone to love you or continue to be with you if they no longer want that. Maybe he distances himself for personal reasons, or perhaps he has gradually lost his feelings, but is too afraid to admit it. Whatever the reason, you must understand that there is not always a way to change someone else's decision. The only thing you can control is yourself, how you react, how you handle the situation, and how you move forward. Accept that any situation may occur. When a man becomes distant, there are 3 main scenarios that can occur. Scenario 1, he realizes your worth and comes back. This is the best case scenario. If he just needs some time to think and realizes that he truly values you, he may take the initiative to come back. At that point, you need to consider whether he has truly changed and whether the relationship can continue in a healthier way. Scenario 2, everything stays the same but without clarity. This is the most uncomfortable situation, when he does not completely leave but also is not really close. He might still maintain a bit of contact but not with the enthusiasm he once had. In this case, you must ask yourself, am I happy in this situation? Am I stubbornly holding on to an incomplete relationship? Is it worth enduring this ambiguity? If the answer is no, you need to make a decision for yourself instead of waiting for him to do so. Scenario 3, he chooses to leave completely. This might be the outcome you fear the most, but it could also be the best long-term result. If a man truly no longer wants to be with you, trying to cling to him will only bring more pain. Remember that a man who truly loves you will not make you feel confused or abandoned. How to prepare yourself emotionally for all outcomes. Put yourself first. No matter what happens, you are the most important person in your life. Don't let your emotional state depend entirely on a man's actions. If he comes back, make sure it is out of genuine affection and not just due to loneliness or familiarity. If he continues to distance himself, view it as an opportunity to seek a better relationship. Don't hold excessive hope, but also don't be pessimistic. You may wish for a positive outcome, but don't expect so much that if things don't go as planned, you will crumble. Keep an open mind and accept that anything can happen. If he wants to come back, evaluate whether it is truly good for you. If he does not, remind yourself that you deserve a man who loves and appreciates you more. Build a life that doesn't depend on a relationship. One of the best ways to prepare yourself emotionally for any outcome is to build a rich and meaningful life that doesn't rely on someone else for happiness. Pursue your passions, goals, and hobbies. Spend time with friends and family, those who love you unconditionally. Focus on developing yourself, both intellectually and emotionally. When you have a fulfilling life, you won't feel as much loss if someone leaves. Remind yourself that everything happens for a reason. Sometimes, what seems terrible at first is actually an opportunity for you to step into a better phase. The end of an unsuitable relationship can open the door to a better love in the future. Remember that, if he no longer loves you, let him go, because you deserve someone who truly values you. If he comes back, make sure it is something you truly want, not just because you fear being alone. Every hardship in love is an opportunity for you to learn and grow. Conclusion. When a man distances himself and ignores you, the most important thing is not to panic or try to cling to him, but to maintain your self-worth and act wisely. Men may drift away for many reasons, but regardless of the cause, you must remember that your value does not depend on someone else's attention or behavior. Instead of trying every way to get him back, focus on yourself. Stay calm, observe, give him space, develop yourself, and communicate clearly when necessary. If he truly loves you, he will recognize that you are a woman of value and return on his own. If he does not come back, that is a sign that you should move on and find someone who truly appreciates you. Finally, prepare yourself mentally for every outcome. Love does not always go as expected, but the important thing is that you know how to face it with confidence and strength. A happy woman is not one who desperately clings to a man, but one who knows how to love herself and only gives her affection to those who deserve it. No matter what the outcome, remember that you deserve a healthy, complete love without having to beg. Walk forward with confidence, because if someone truly belongs to you, they will never make you feel abandoned. Thank you for spending the time to watch today's video. I hope these insights on love and the lessons from this video will help you gain fresh perspectives and find understanding. If you found the video useful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with those around you. Each of us has our own story about love, and I am delighted to explore them with you. See you in the next videos. Wishing you a wonderful day full of love.